You need to pull back and spend at least 30 minutes a day, whether it's on personal development or whether it's on a skill you're learning to do. And that's what happens when people join the Jake and Gino community. They're all into multifamily. All you need is 30 minutes a day.
Hello, everybody. Jake and Gino here, and today we're discussing habits. Gang, our habits have huge implications on the results in our life, whether good or bad. And today we have the G-Daddy here to break this down and hopefully show us the positive habits to implement in order to be successful in business and in life. Gino, how's it going?
Jake, I'm doing great, and I'm honored to be speaking to the Habit Machine. Wearing the pink shirt this morning. Hey, the drug rep. When I was in the restaurant and I met you back in 2009, I remember the first thing that I just stood out was you were so prepared. Even at a young age, you're late 20s. But every time you came into the restaurant, you had this damn cardstock paper with like
Wait, go back to my Peacoat, baby. I had this sweet Peacoat in it. I had the Banana Republic suit separates, man. That was the thing in the 2010s, all right, folks? I'm going to take you back. And then I had this little inside pocket, and it was a little gangster. I'd pull out my black book, and it was a month. You would open it up, and it'd be the full month of the calendar because I like looking at everything on one. And I'd have all the lunches lined out, and I'd slide it across the back of the kitchen there to Gino. I'd say, look at that, sucker, bling, bling. I got you booked out for the month, baby. Let's go. That's how it went, all right?
It made me so happy. I'm like, my habits suck. I got to work with this dude. I was just a grinder. I was all over the place, but I didn't build habits. And you know, in the next few minutes, I want to share with you how to start implementing habits in your life. I've got 7 or 8 here that I want to share with you. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed because at Jake and Gino, when we onboard students, it's like you're drinking from a fire hose. You see all this information out there, and when your mind is confused, the confused mind says no. So for me, I think the very first thing, depending upon your circumstance or situation, some people may say, hey, I've got 6 kids. I have a full-time job. I can't do any of this. Well, you either have excuses or you can create impact in your life. You can't do both. So right now, stop with the excuses. Start small. We always say in the Jake and Gino community, think big, start small. If you want to start with a house hacking, duplex, great. 10-unit, great. You just need to start small. The first habit that I think everyone should implement is you need to do some type of exercise. And if you don't, it's going to catch up with you. When you're in your 20s and 30s, you can get away with it. But if you don't get into that habit, your life is all about energy, about getting up, having energy. And I'll challenge you, if you ever been to the hospital or you ever get sick, what happens? Life is over. Game over. You can't take care of anything else. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get that exercise in, whether it's 30 minutes of walking and whatever you like to do, jogging, swimming, light weights, wherever you
lift
are in your
weights
life.
And do HIIT training, all right? It's the most efficient and effective way to get there.
But Jake, let's
I'm just saying, man.
but let's take a step back. You don't have to hit the gym 7 days a week when you first start out for 3 hours
can't anymore.
every day.
It's too much. I literally can't. Interesting thing about that is I used to lift every body part at least once a week. And so that's once every 7 days. And now I've moved that to every 9th or 10th day because the recovery is much more important than I found. And having a good night's sleep. I know you're probably going to talk about that in a little bit and not to steal your thunder, but those two things, the older I have gotten, have made a bigger impact in a positive way than necessarily the actions, because you need that time to recover. Because I'm not 21 anymore. I don't have that sweet double Windsor knot on my tie and that Peacoat, baby. Come on.
Jake, with the Peacoat, what I would say is real simple. Just start small. 30 minutes. Try to walk at least 4 to 5 times a week. But you need to do it, right, every day. I've gotten to the point in the last 3 months that one day I'll walk for 30 minutes and swim for 20. And then next day I'll run for 40 minutes and then I'll walk for an additional 30. So every day I'm doing something, but it needs to start with that small. It needs to become like a muscle. You need to train it. You need to get it going. If you go into the gym the very first week and you start lifting every body part for 7 days, you're going to burn yourself out right away. You're never going to do it. That's why you need to start really slowly. And once you start slowly, all of a sudden your brain starts saying to itself, I can do this. I can handle this. And then you're going to want more. And you're with the Peacoat, you're gonna forget you put the Peacoat on. You're like, man, I need to put that Peacoat on.
Peacoat's gonna start getting a little snug. Women are gonna start saying, man, look at that tapered V in the back. He's a sexy man. That's how it's going down right there.
Okay, so now that you got that habit going on, the exercise, Jake mentioned the second one. You need sleep. The average person needs between 7 to 8 hours of sleep, right? And Jake, he did steal my thunder, but as research goes, you need to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And some of you say, hey, but you know what? You're going to find out when you wake up in the morning, you're going to be less drowsy. You're not going to have your delta, your REM sleep. You need to get the sleep. That's the second one. Number three, depending on what type of person you are, we always hear about this miracle morning. Now, I'm not a 5 o'clock in the morning kind of person. Never was. I was always stayed up later. I like getting up at 7 o'clock because I know that I can get my stuff done.
Damn.
But if
over
you're
with, Gino.
Dude, but if you're working a 9 to 5 job and you've got full-time responsibilities, I think you need to wake up earlier to get a few of these habits in. So by the time you get to the office, you get to work, you've already got half of this stuff accomplished.
That's what Florida does to you, folks. Back when he was in New York, he'd get up and grind with me early. He moves to Florida. He's hanging on the beach. Oh, man, 7 o'clock rolls around. Sun's coming up. Maybe I'll get up now. That's what happens. Be careful, man. This financial freedom's a slippery slope.
When you got 6 kids, you can't go to bed before 11, right? So I need from
kids
11
in bed
to 7.
By 8:30, bro.
Yeah, but I'm not. I got the 6 kids, bro. I've got to sit at night. I tell bedtime stories.
I'm talking shit. The little guy's in by 8:30. The other ones are like 9:30ish.
But. So, anyway, if you have to wake up early, right? The next one, this is going to be hard for Jake. 10 minutes of silence. And I
meditate in the morning. I do it.
Okay.
10 minutes.
So let me add a little caveat to that. Lay down, close your eyes, and put some music on for 10 minutes. Listen to that. Your brain will go into this alpha state where all of a sudden you start experiencing this a great feeling. And, my daughter's taking this new training right now. She wants to get into body work, and she's working with her grandfather, who's a doctor. And he says your brain, 70% of your brain's activity function goes to eyesight. Because it's just that thing. That's why people who are deaf, they can't see, all their senses are so much higher. So you ever see somebody when they're thinking, they'll close their eyes and go, let me think. It's because all of a sudden your energy is not going towards your eyesight. So when you lay down and you go into that alpha sleep, baby, just lay down for 10 minutes. Be still and be silent first be silent for 10 minutes. Try that. Just try not to think of anything and just be silent laying down. And then throw on some of that music, some music you really like that you can relax to.
I'm going to challenge you right now, Gino. Insight timer. Insight timer for 10 minutes. There's different, and they're motivational. They're like positive attitude meditations. Dude, you don't need the music. You need the insight timer.
Dude, I like the opera, bro. I have to listen to my
I get you, but you got to be open-minded too. And I'll try the opera for a week. You try the insight timer, and we'll see who wins the race. All right?
And then you know what? I'll put the Peacoat on, lay down, and I'll listen to the insight for 10 minutes.
You're like a boss, a mafia boss.
The next one, 30 minutes of education. And this is something where you need to work on yourself for 30 minutes. If you're working at a W-2 job or you're working in anything, in industry, even in your business, you need to pull back and spend at least 30 minutes a day, whether it's on personal development, whether it's on a skill you're learning to do. And that's what happens when people join the Jake and Gino community. They're all into multifamily. All you need is 30 minutes a day. Just start out with 30 minutes a day. And that may be 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes for lunch, 10 minutes in the evening. You do that at the end of the week for 7 days. You're looking at how many is it? 200 minutes? You're looking at almost 4 hours of content that you've done for that week. And that's how you start building muscle. But I guarantee you start with the 30 minutes of that exercise and you put 30 minutes of that education. It doesn't seem like a lot, but you need to structure it. You need to be the Jake Stenziano, that habit machine where it needs to be written down. And I've got it here, folks. I actually have it all written down on my sheet here that I need to do it. And I cross it out throughout the day. Because if I don't write it down and I don't cross it out, I'll forget to do it. Because something always pops up. Mm-hmm. But I need to do these habits every day. You may start with one. Start with one and just get it going. And then the second one. And then the third one. So we've talked about exercise. We've talked about silence. We've talked about this education. We've talked about sleep. We've talked about waking up early. I think there's two more that are really powerful. I think going for a walk every day, just a simple walk.
That was in your exercise. That's repetitive, Gino.
But you know what? Exercise, this kind of walking is different. Walking in nature, walking on the beach, walking in when I went to your house,
Are you talking about grounding?
Well, you can incorporate grounding into it. But when I went to your house, walk down to the dock down there, that peaceful, that quiet, sitting down there, walking around your neighborhood because it's just beautiful, full of trees. You're in nature. You walk on grass. It's different than that other type of exercise. This is where you're just contemplating, thinking about gratitude. If you can do that every day for 20 to 30 minutes, it's just a great feeling. You just get out of your element. You have no devices. You have nothing. It's just nice, peace and quiet, and you get away from everybody. And I think the last one, this is the one that my partner over there, the Peacoat, really stresses about, is journaling. if you can sit down, I do something called expressive writing. I've been doing this for the last couple of months, and my wife calls it rage writing, and it's really great for
Sorry.
that's what she calls it.
Brother.
And
Hulk Hogan
what
said he started off each match with 3 Miller Lights and 2 Tylenols and finished with 12 Miller Lights. So, maybe we got to get Julie on that kick there.
But let me explain what expressive writing is.
I think
David,
you said rage writing.
That too. So Dr. David Hanscom, we did a podcast on the Jake and Gino show. He talks about chronic pain. And one of the things that he uses, one of the tools he uses is expressive writing, sitting down every day for 5 to 10 minutes and getting your thoughts on a piece of paper. Don't worry about the script. Don't worry about how it looks. Just get it on a piece of paper. I'm having a crappy day. This has happened. I hate my boss. My wife's driving me nuts. My kids. Just write it down. It's expressive. That's why it after you get to be really good, it turns into rage because you're getting all of your emotions and all your thoughts out there. After you're done with it, rip it up, throw it in the garbage. You just release that energy. You continue to do that every day. That's why all these habits may seem like a lot, but that's been so powerful for me because every time I go through something, I really can't talk to anybody other than my partner there. And I just want to write it down on a paper and I want to release it. I want to get rid of it. And the other component is if you want to journal, it'd be amazing to do a journaling before you go to bed. Just think about the thoughts you had all day, put some gratitude in that journal. That's the one you keep. But I would challenge everybody that expressive writing, what my wife likes to call the rage writing, has really helped me out to get my thoughts out there. And it, what Dr. Davis says, it actually has helped his patients with that chronic pain because we have stress, we have chronic inflammation, we carry that around us all day. And one way to get rid of it is through the subconscious by getting a piece of paper, writing it down, and you're getting your thoughts on that paper, and then you're giving yourself the excuse to rip it up and to get it out of your life and to get it out of the system.
So I'm going to give you the point one to all this because it's had a profound impact on my life. And you use the I word, which is inflammation. And for the last 15 years, I've had chronic back pain, lower back pain. And I just went through this weird thing where I had an ear infection, didn't know it, and it caused extreme vertigo to the point where it shut me down. I could barely walk without feeling like I was going to pass out or fall into a wall. And during that time, I was given I think it was a corticosteroid or something, an anti-inflammatory, and it made a huge difference on the lower back pain. But I've been stretching, going to see a chiropractor, and then I noticed what a huge difference it made. And I've been trying to correct my diet over the years, and then I started reading more about this like anti-inflammatory diet, which cuts out the grains, cuts out the sugars, and what I ultimately did is I incorporated that even to a higher degree into my normalized diet. And knock on wood, since this went through, stuck with the stretching, pulled back the fitness a little bit to 9 or 10 days a week for every body part. And I've been on this anti-inflammatory diet, and knock on wood, the pain in my back is gone. Mm-hmm. And so don't discount what food could be doing to you, because I was, and Gino picks on me because when I first met him, like they were all into like, Whole Foods and things like that. And I was like, you hippie bullshit, whatever. But the more you look at it, and when you can actually see it for yourself, it's made a pretty big difference. So now, watching out for that stuff, because no one likes to live with that stuff, and that all is as well is a positive habit, and hopefully it can lead to some longevity in life. So
Jake, the moral of the story, the moral of the podcast is start incorporating these, start putting these little pieces on one at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself where you think you need to do all 7 or 8. And nutrition is probably the point one, because that is a huge component to it. But if you're trying to work on nutrition, if you're trying to work on your sleep, if you're trying to work on expressive writing, if you're trying to work on journaling, if you're trying to do exercise, if you're trying to do education, all at once, you're going to be completely overwhelmed and you're not going to do anything. So pick the top 1 or 2 that you think you need to work on. I would say personally, the exercise and the nutrition are so important to your life, because from there you're feeding your brain. And if you've got a healthy brain, you've got a healthy body, you can accomplish anything.
Yeah, and most people are saying, well, how the hell do I do it? That seems like so overwhelming. Go back to the Peacoat and the little black book. And for those of you on YouTube right now, I've been using this stupid cardstock sheet for the last 20 years of my life, and it's been the thing that has resulted in the most success that I've had. Because I don't care if it's my diet, I don't care if it's my exercise, I don't care if it's my business, my journaling, my meditation. Every single thing is on this stupid piece of paper, and I either miss it for the day, and it's an immediately, I guilt shame myself and feel like a piece of shit, and I won't miss it again tomorrow. And yes, guilt and shame is okay. Don't be a bunch of sissies out there. or I get it done, which happens 99% of the time. I actually get the stuff done because it's on the sheet. So toughen up out there. You know, here's the deal. We say it all the time. We believe in buying deals for the long term. Think in decades. I'm the habit master, Jake, and that's the G Daddy to make it happen, man. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to like and subscribe so you'll never miss another episode.